Friday, August 28th. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 20 of What's Happening in Myanmar, a show from the Frontier Myanmar podcast family. I'm your host, Nick Dunlop. This week in Myanmar, Malaysia prepares to send back refugees as Rohingya mark anniversary of killings and regime airstrikes kill civilians at monasteries. Malaysia will repatriate nearly 1,500 Myanmar nationals on September the 29th. They are among 5,000 who volunteered to return. The repatriations are happening amidst rising anti-Rohingya sentiment and police raids. Malaysia does not recognise refugees, and more than 10,000 Myanmar nationals are being held in Malaysian detention centres. Malaysia will introduce a new refugee registration programme in January to replace the UN system. Tens of thousands of Rohingya protested in Bangladesh on Tuesday, marking the 9th anniversary of clearance operations that sparked mass killings in 2017. 71 rights organisations released statements calling for the Myanmar military to be held accountable. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said Rohingya face deepening insecurity, worsened by international aid cuts. He also criticised the military as well as the Arakan army for atrocities committed against the Rohingya. Bangladesh Foreign Minister called for pressure on the regime for a dignified return of the refugees to Myanmar. 1.2 million Rohingya currently live in refugee camps across Cox's Bazar. Junta leader Min Aung Hlaing announced by-elections will be held early next year, while on an official visit to Belarus. He did not state what citizens would vote on. In a speech to Parliament last month, Min Aung Hlaing said the regime will hold 2027 elections in 172 areas they could not poll in the last election. Rights groups criticised the election process, which left out townships under resistance control and barred opposition parties. The Myanmar military will hold peace talks this month with the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army. The two groups have fought over territory in northern Shan state. Despite multiple rounds of peace talks led by China, fighting between the two has continued. A regime airstrike killed 15 civilians and injured 27 in central Myanmar last Friday. The strike targeted a Buddhist Lent meditation retreat at a monastery in Sagaing region. The victims were 11 men and 4 women, most of whom were visitors from nearby villages. The National Unity Government's Human Rights Ministry reported that regime airstrikes have killed over 5,800 civilians between 2021 and June of this year. After more than 10 years of award-winning journalism, we at Frontier are fighting for our survival. The grants that once supported 2/3 of our operations are no longer available. Despite this, our journalists continue their difficult and dangerous work, but with decreasing resources. Please encourage friends and colleagues to join Frontier so we can continue producing our trademark features, in-depth investigations, and on-the-ground reporting. By joining Frontier, you'll be supporting us to tell the stories that matter and to cut through the noise to reveal what's really happening in Myanmar. You'll also become part of our community, receiving Frontier Friday, our weekly newsletter, and updates on our latest podcasts. You'll also get access to 1 free article per month. Please click the link in the podcast show notes to join us. Thank you. Residents have discovered 25 bodies in a village in Kachin State. The village was inaccessible due to fighting between the Myanmar military and Kachin Independence Army in Pakant Township. Upon returning earlier this month, villagers found the bodies and said they showed signs of torture, including fractured skulls and broken limbs. The Kachin Independence Army has blamed the junta for the killings. Residents found 10 more bodies in Magwe region's Myang Township after fighting. However, they have yet to be identified. A local resistance fighter speculated the bodies could be soldiers or militiamen killed in the fighting. 6 regime soldiers died during clashes with the Restoration Council of Shan State in Mongpin Township. The Restoration Council has claimed a junta militia intruded into their territory. The group has been mostly neutral since the 2021 coup, but is becoming increasingly critical of the junta in the last year. And that's the latest from Myanmar for this week. Check out our latest photo essay by Kun Lee, which takes an exclusive look at women and girls forced into marriage in Kachin State. You can also read a guest opinion piece about Min Online's upcoming visit to Cambodia on our website. Please click the link in the podcast show notes below. The Doathan podcast is free on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I'll be back next week to bring you a roundup of all the stories making the headlines on Friday, September the 4th.